Speaking of The Sound of Music, Dean has never even heard of The Sound of Music. What? But that is not the very beginning, so let's talk about Eric and his hometown date to Baltimore. Eric's always saying that he didn't grow up with a lot of love in his family, which is super sad, but when we walk into Eric's aunt's house, it's like, whoa, warmth and love. But his mom was a little standoffish, and she said that she didn't allow Eric to lean on her because she didn't want him turning out to be like other men in the family. She, I guess, was trying to say that she was forcing him into being a man early on. I wonder what a psychiatrist would say about that. So then he tells a girl for the first time in his life that he loves her, and then clarifies by saying, that means that I really care about you.
And then Rachel was all, I appreciate that, but sweet attempt, rookie.
Next up is Brian's date in Miami, in which Brian's mom was all,
I will kill you.
and she was also like, she may have been a little obsessive about her son, but she loves him so much, and we know that he had a very opposite upbringing to Eric. And in the end, she was like, I went to church today, I prayed that you would be the one, and now I meet you, and I think you're the one. So talk about a 180. On an unrelated note, can we just walk around life with a Snapchat filter on our face? I mean, look at this wing. I think I'm the only girl in this franchise who hasn't run up to one of these guys, jumped on him, thrown my legs around his waist, and then spun around. I'm gonna do this on Friday when I see Dean. Dean, be warned, it's time. So anyway, Rachel does like her third spin of the day, and then she goes to the farmer's market with Peter, and the whole date's starting out really well. But then we go to the bar with his friends, and Peter's all like, so how do you know if you want to propose to someone or not? And then Peter's mom tells Rachel that he's probably not ready to propose, but he is probably ready to commit. And we are finally at the point where we can talk about Dean in his hometown, because I know you guys have been waiting all 20-something snaps for this. I've said it a couple times already today, and I'm gonna say it again, but the segment of Dean's hometown during this episode was some of the most compelling TV I've seen in a very long time.
I hate this expression, but if you didn't have all the feelings for Dean after this episode, I don't like you.
I'm really happy that I can call someone as special as Dean a friend now. We spent the entire weekend in Tahoe together, and we get to know each other pretty well.
And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to teeny bopper over him anymore.
I mean, he looks like he should be in a boy band. And the fangirls on Instagram are losing their shit. But in all seriousness, I think he handled this so beautifully. He was brave and he was vulnerable at the same time. I loved how open he was about how nervous he was going into it. I love that he didn't hide feeling uncomfortable. I thought that he addressed things with conviction and yet still was full of love and warmth. Dean. I loved when Dean's dad gave Rachel and Dean the feathers in honor of Dean's mom. I thought that was a beautiful gesture. I know a lot of people are going to say that they exploited Dean's dad for good TV, and it was excellent TV. But I do feel like this hometown gave Dean the opportunity to address some issues with his dad that he probably wouldn't have had it not been for the show. And then in a crazy turn of events, Dean gets eliminated at the rose ceremony, but it's not because of his family. He's definitely not ready for marriage. And Rachel said she's not looking for a boyfriend, she's looking for a husband. And right now at 26, I don't think Dean is there. Alright guys, I talk about this a ton more on the Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous podcast. Go search it on iTunes, and until next week, I bid you adieu.